Okay, let's just say what a prayer, sister. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you because you're causing our heart to seek you, even as we're about to start this series. Give us the word. Help us to be built from our brokenness. Help us to be transformed. Help us to be renewed. Let that be a knowledge. Let that be an idea. Something about this series that makes us not to be the same. And after the series, we are whole. We are on that journey to healing. We are on that journey to wholeness. We are making resolutions. We are making confirmations. We are making declarations. And above all things, we are becoming whole, healed in you. Thank you because you answered our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. So welcome everybody. It's already time 2 minutes. Now, I was as before I was just about to start. I was saying something. If you join me, if you are in maybe if you have my contact and maybe you were able to see my WhatsApp status yesterday, or if you're in any of my social media handles, maybe Instagram or Facebook, there was something I posted yesterday. As I was just doing the finishing touches for yesterday, as I was just doing the finishing touches yesterday, please if you are in, kindly mute yourself so that you can hear me all. Or just stay on my laptop trying to do some things. It's not like a thought just came to me. Okay, Clara, what's the purpose? Like, what do you want to achieve with build from broken? And as I stayed there, immediately I heard, it was not like within me, there was also a voice resonating within me. That the purpose of build from broken is the tie to build from broken. So that's the type, like that's what this is all about. That is not just, the regular webinar where we just want to teach people or the regular series where we just want to impact people. It is more than that. It is the goal, the ultimate goal is that we become built from our brokenness. So immediately I heard, I was just like, yay, thank you, Jesus, and everything. I was just so excited. It's not like this, of course, I didn't know those things. But the way it came, I just needed to reaffirm myself again. I just needed to be sure. Hope this is not just your own idea. I hope this is not just what you want to do. I just needed to be sure again that I got the backing, but I just needed to be sure that this is what he's asking me to do. And when I did that, immediately there was just this sense of, okay, go girl, let's get this done. Let's talk more. Let's discuss more. That is why I am so excited. So you are here. I don't know the point where you are in your life, or maybe the season, maybe dealing with one or two thoughts, dealing with the pain, dealing with uh, a an event, anything that has kept you in that place where you are no longer sure, you are depressed, you are hot, and it seems as though like what is going on, it seems as though I can't take this anymore. This is just for you because God was said to do great things. This is just for you. Once you join us, please make sure your mic is muted. Yeah, except for volunteer members of the team so that we can hear ourselves very well. So this is it. The purpose of this is for us to be built from broken. So when I keep hearing people tell me, oh, Clara, why do you just talk about this? That's because I'm a testimony that God can heal a man, God can rebuild somebody, and God will cause you to walk in that life. I'm a testimony that God can cause you to be healed, regardless of wherever you are. You know, a lot of times we see people and we think, okay, this person is standing, maybe this person has their job, or maybe they're married, or maybe they're in school, and they have it all figured out. Yes, but in that on the outward. But when you actually look on the inside, when you give people the opportunity to share themselves, to share their thoughts, to share their mind, you see that a lot of persons are wounded. A lot of persons, are broken. A lot of persons are in that place where they're just tired. They are just tired. It's more like they can't, it's more like the next breath they are about to take, they're just wondering. Some persons are okay, let this just be my last. So, and that is why we need to equip ourselves with this knowledge. That if you're here and maybe you're not dealing with depression, you're not dealing with anything at all, but you just want to get the knowledge, thank you for joining us because this is more than just, okay, it is for those set of people, it is for all of us because at any point in your time, you will meet people. And of course, when for the short while I've started this officially, we're just talking. I know the number of persons I've met, the number of persons that keeps on wanting to reach out. And when you hear some things, you understand that it is not just a group of person thing. It is not just maybe Clara thing. It is for all of us because you have a siblings. Trust me, you may not even know. You have a friend. You have a colleague. You have somebody that when you look deep, if they give you that privilege of checking deep within them, you would see how how shattered they are and how much they are in need of healing and how much they're in need of wholeness. So just thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. This is the first day, and I'm just so excited. So today we're talking on dealing with depression. Depression is, is a topic that, of course, we've heard of it. Most times, you say, "Ah, this person is depressed," but we don't even know how weighty rather depression is. We don't know how strong, like how I'm looking for the right word to use. How much depression can hold somebody. Like if you ever sat with someone who is depressed, there is nothing you're talking about life that is making sense to that person. There is nothing you're talking about. Okay, what is your next goal? Maybe what is tomorrow? There is nothing you're talking because that person is already at that point where they are not seeing the next thing. They are not even seeing the next minute. They don't have any vision. They don't have any purpose. If you have ever, of course, I always used to hear about people are depressed. But the very first time I was able to more like talk to not really, maybe talk to someone that knows someone who committed suicide. It was more like this lady she was in that place where she was just like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why this person had to do this. So that was, I think, when I was still doing my internship. For those of us who don't know, I'm a physiotherapist, so I'm a medical practitioner also. I was just with this lady, and she was just lamenting how a coursemate of her, but not the same faculty. How, like, after you were done with school and everything, finally, this was when this lady decided to end her life. Of course, she committed suicide and everything. So I'm just like, what could lead to this? Like, well, for her, she doesn't really know. But then, that the lady is always weird in class and all those kind of things. And then, rumor has it that maybe she has been abused, countless times by, I think, either her dad or her uncle, one of them. I know it's like a relative, countless time that she has been abused countless time, and even till university, when you just see her, you know that something is wrong with this lady. She doesn't have friends. I was like, okay, like, did you even make any effort? Because I was just trying to understand how would this person be in this way. But the long and short of the story was after she had graduated from school and after everything, she took her life. And this lady was just telling me, why would somebody go to this extent? And I was just looking at her because at that moment I felt so bad because I just felt that we lost somebody again. Of course, we're always hearing the news, Nigeria uni, things like that. But this wasn't like I'm hearing the news, this was more like a first hand information. Like there was even giving this information. So just so much pain per se. So depression is something that when it has its grip on a person, it can it will be difficult, except of course help, assistance from God, and then external help. It becomes difficult for you to move past it. Now, one thing I want you to know is depression is a broad term. Yes, depression is a broad term. There are so many forms, so many types, so many forms and types. But today I'm focusing mainly on the major depressive disorder, which is the one you know. I'm not talking about maybe bipolar or postpartum depression. I'm not giving all those types. I'm talking about the one which is the most severe form. Let me give you an example. I'm talking about the major depressive disorder, or what we call clinical depression in psychology, or in counseling we call it clinical depression. So that's what I'm talking about. That's that one that when it grips you, it's more like you're just in that chapel. Of course, for others, they are intermittent. You may feel depressed maybe this week, next week you are up and down. But for a major depressive disorder, for a clinical depression, which is our focus in this series, once it holds you, it's more like with the passing of the day, with each day that passes by, you are being drawn closer to that depression. Let me use that word. Not like with each day that passes by, it's just something you're not getting better. You're getting worse. So that's the first thing I need you to understand. Now, by way of definition, I'm just going to give the definition of depression. And this is a combination of so many depression. I just want to make it very easy to understand. I don't want to use those terminologies and everything. I just want to make it very easy to understand. Depression, that is the major depressive disorder. It is a common and a severe mental health disorder. Now, it's common and it's severe because this is the extreme of it, caused by chronic feeling of emptiness, sadness, or inability to feel pleasure. It is characterized by continuous depressed mood or loss of pleasure or interest in activity, which lasts over a long period of time, lasting more than 2 weeks. I'm going to take this definition again. Depression, which is the clinical depression or the major depressive disorder, it is a common and a severe mental health disorder. It is caused by a chronic feeling of emptiness, sadness, or inability to feel pleasure. It is characterized, when you see it, it is made up of what? That continuous depressed mood. Continuous. I will just highlight some of this word as I'm explaining. Continuous depressed mood or a loss of pleasure or interest in activity over a long period of time, lasting more than 2 weeks. This is just the, I know this definition is long, but this is the definition that will help you to understand. First of all, it's common and it's severe. Like, it's common. I know sometimes, maybe in this part of the world, maybe for Nigerians, and even now, it's already on time. The values we are getting. But sometimes I just go online to make research and to just say things for myself. The values we are getting, it's becoming so high. So it's very common and it's severe. Because don't forget that I already made mention that there are different forms of depression, but the major depressive disorder, which is a clinical depression, and before you come to say this is clinical depression, you must have gone through, some stages, some assessment, some symptoms you will see, which are the things you will see at the course of this series. Do you understand me? So it is a mental disorder. Some persons used to call it a mood disorder because when it affects you, the very way it's being expressed is in that person's mood and that their cognitive behavior, anything that has to do with the way you think, your thoughts. Then what it is called that there is this feeling of emptiness, there is this feeling of sadness. There is just this void in this person's life. There is just this void. There is just this meaningless to life, meaningless to what they are living for, meaningless maybe the values they had before, or maybe a meaningless belief, or maybe what they believed before. All of a sudden, they just I no longer believe this. There is this continuous sadness, continual depression. There is loss of pleasure. There is just loss of pleasure. These are the classical presentations of what you would see in a person who is depressed. And one thing you need to also know about depression is it lasts for more than we don't in psychology or in counseling. For those of you that don't, I have certification in psychology and in counseling, so it's more like there's also a background knowledge to these things. In psychology, once before we say that a person is depressed, that's for a clinical depression, it must have lasted at least more than 2 weeks. That the very minimum is 2 weeks, so 2 weeks and above. So you may have noticed this person, there's just this depression, continuous depression, or it's not like okay, the person is okay. Of course, gradually it builds. So you get there's just this continuous depression mode, there's just loss of pleasure or loss of interest in activity, there is emptiness, there is sadness that is continued for a prolonged period of time, lasting nothing less than 2 weeks. So these are the things that could give you an idea that this person is going through something. And most of the time, they don't talk. In fact, they don't even see, except you are close to those individuals, except you are, or maybe except somebody is close to you, they will not even know. Like, people will not know. They just think that, okay, Especially maybe if you are maybe a quiet person by your temperament. Maybe you are probably led by your temperament, or you're just generally quiet. People will not even know because they will think you are just in that your normal mood that they don't understand. No, sometimes a lot of persons stereotype people. Oh, I don't just understand how this person is like this. Forget the person is acting weird. This person, I don't understand. But truth be told, you haven't even taken out a minute to go close. And even when you go close to those people, it's not always easy. Or even when somebody comes close to you, because I know there is one or two persons there, it is not always easy to speak up because there is a lot of things going on in your life. I need you to understand that depression, as I mentioned earlier, is different from the regular mood changes or feeling about everyday life. It's different from today I'm not feeling good, today I'm not in a good day, or I'm upset. It's different from that. It's very different from that. And it affects the people that are going through depression or you that's currently going through depression, it affects your relationship with family, with friends, with yourself. Because the first relationship that you have is your relationship with God and then your relationship with yourself. So it affects even your relationship with yourself, with community. And it produces, there is just this effect, it produces a negative result in your life, in your work. And in severe case, it leads to suicide. So in severe case, the ultimate goal is I don't feel there's anything more to life. I don't feel there's any big thing more to life. I don't feel there's anything we should be enjoying in this life. I don't feel there's any big thing that we should what is the next big idea? And yeah, this person takes his or her life. Or this person just takes anything. But you know the funny part, people that commit suicide, of course, there is just this idea that I want to end everything, but that is not the right way. That is not the best way to end anything. That is not the best way. Ending your life is not. I know it looks like okay, I'm already end. I already ended this thing, or I want just to end this thing. But there is hell. There is help in God. There is help through therapy. There is help through counseling. There are communities aside this one, aside this community. There are several communities, that people are not speaking of where help can be given. There should be at least one or two somebody you see that you can talk to. Suicide is never an option. Suicide is not an option at all. It is not an option at all because at the ultimate goal there is something big about you. If you've stayed a bit close to me, you understand. I keep telling people like there is something big. This version of you is a version that can be reviewed. Like it's a version that we are all growing. Let me use that word. We are all growing. So things can get better. We can be healed from that situation. You can present it to God, you can talk to people, trusted, I'm using the word trusted, people you can confide in. Because those are very sensitive issues. So you have to be careful with people you also talk to. Do you understand me? Yes. But in severe case, suicide is never an option because when you end that place, everything that God is said to do with you, that story you were meant to tell, that deliverance you're meant to bring, that that testimony, that build that is supposed to come from your brokenness is gone. And the worst part is that the people you even leave behind, those people, those paths you also chat out because of course it just seems like okay, let me just do this so that I'll get away with this myself. But what about the people? What about the family? What about the friends? Do you know the state of shock you can even put them? Do you understand? So depression is on high, and it's high time we begin to render ourselves, to listening to people. And even if you're here, you are just in that place. I mean, it's in that Clara, you don't understand. You don't understand what I've been through. You don't understand maybe the abuse, the grief, we've lost an important family member, or maybe this that sickness for some person it could just be a sickness. There's just something that is holding you down. Like this sickness and it seems like you're not getting over it. For somebody else, it could just be maybe the family, the physical challenge, the financial challenge, the health challenge, the social challenge. I feel like nobody's understanding me. Nobody sees me. Nobody sees me. It seems like I'm invisible. It seems like I'm a shadow of myself. There is help for you. God wants to build you. There is help for you. So do not lose it. And that is why this platform is set up. Because apart from just the problems dealing with this, we also need to deal with the sadness, the guilt, the hopelessness that comes with depression. Because depression doesn't just come alone. It comes with sadness, it comes with guilt, it comes with helplessness, it comes with it just comes with so many negative emotions, so many negative things that make things look like you are not getting it all through. Now somebody will be hearing you telling me, if you know me so well, you know that I don't just speak regularly about healing, wholeness, apart from, of course, principles that deals with healing and wholeness, as a counselor and as a therapist, who I am, I also speak with the scriptures because it just has backing. Because I know the level that the scriptures is able to transform a man. So for me, it is just more than therapy, it's more than counseling. It is also about my belief in the scripture. It's also about what God is said to do, what is He giving me. So that means it. One of the scriptures that I love the most that just tells me that whatever it is I am going on currently, it is not the end. Whatever it is I am doing currently is not the end. Or whatever it is, the situation that I am currently is not the end, that there is something big. It just found in John 10:10. Like I love that scripture. I love it the most. I think there's a volunteer that will help us paste it. John 10:10. And just by saying that, of course, that the thief, he comes to steal, to kill, and destroy. But he said that I have come that you will have life and have it in abundance. Of course, I've always been listening to this scripture. I've always, love this scripture. But there was just something about, I think it was last year, I can't even remember. Maybe last year, or something. When I went through this, I came to myself, I'm like, do you know that this place you are, like, there is more. It's not just about me just, maybe being a medical practitioner, doing things, or just maybe healing. Like, there is so much more to what God can give to me. There is so much more to this life. And when I understood that, I was like, I thought that you have like a whole meeting abundance. I said to myself, that was when I made a decision with myself that wherever I am is the very least I'm going to be, regardless of what the enemy throws at me, or regardless of anything at all. I decided that I'm going to uphold this truth. And that is the truth that you have it more abundantly. More. Like more. You have it, abundantly. You have it. There's just going to be a fullness of it. And when it comes to life, it's not just talking about maybe your mind, maybe just you getting money. It's talking about yourself as a whole. You, you, you that is listening to me, like yourself as a whole. Everything that concerns you. So this always gives me the go ahead to face whatever it is that comes to me. It always makes me know that there is something more. Now going back to depression, I want you to know that depression is the result of complex interaction. Depression is more than it's my mind. Sometimes some people think that, oh, it's just my mind, it's my thought. No, depression is more than that. Depression is a complex interaction. It deals with your social aspect, like it's more like different aspect of you that you don't even know is coming together to produce depression. Your psychology aspect and your brain is coming together, your biological aspect, your social aspect, and even your spiritual aspect. Because as far as you're a human being, there are different aspects or different segments of your life. So it's more like every aspect is coming together to form this complex negative pattern called depression. Please, I hope you can still hear me. If you can hear me, type something in the group chat. Let me be sure we can hear me. Please, can you type something? Hope you can still hear me. Because it's okay. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Because it's raining here, so I'm really trying to put up my voice out the more so that you can hear me. Okay, thank you so much. So depression is a complex interaction of your social aspect of your life, the psychological aspect of your life, the biological aspect of your life, and of course the spiritual aspect of your life. All of them. I will tell you how all these aspects of your life comes to play. The social aspect of your life is because it pulls you out. There is a withdrawal. Like there is nobody who is depressed that is still socializing. There is nobody who is depressed that is still making friends, going out. There is no one. So that social aspect of you. The first thing you would see is what withdrawal. The psychological aspect, the psychological complex interaction of depression is negative thoughts, thought of emptiness, thought of loneliness, thought of sadness, thought of misbeliefs, negative patterns. That's the psychological aspect. Now the biological aspect, or maybe when we talk about the chemical aspect, of course, there is in psychology there is also the chemical aspect of these things, right? When we just want to, if you get to be, maybe I'm giving more of a health seminar or talk or anything, I will talk more of the aspect of where your brain, the chemicals in the brain plays factor. Because once you are ingesting, of course, there are chemicals in your brain. That is more of science. That is more of the biological aspect. When we talk about the neurotransmitters, we talk about the serotonin, and these things are valid, like they are true. Because at the cost of assessment, when a person goes for proper assessment, when they check the levels of this neurotransmitter, your serotonin level and the like is just always high. You understand? Your dopamine. These are things that are supposed to be in our body to help us regulate our moods. And so sometimes they're usually lower than expected. So this is the biological aspect, this is the health aspect, because it plays an important role too. So depression is not just about what I'm thinking, it's not just about it's my thoughts, it's my mind. No, it's more than that. It's actually a clinical diagnosis. As much as it is a social or emotional disorder, as much as it's a psychological disorder, your mindset or your biology or your health, your brain plays also an important role too. And lastly, there is also a spiritual factor to this. I've not heard, okay, let me not speak, I've not seen, I've not heard someone who is depressed and then maybe their relationship with God is still ultimate, because if it's still ultimate, then that thing doesn't have any grip over you. So definitely anyone who is going through depression, also their spiritual aspect is being pulled down. Of course, there is just this, like, where is this, okay, this God that I believe in, where is he when I'm going through this, where is he? And I know that could even be somebody here. Why did he let me go through those things? Why do I have to go through this level of hurt? Is it part of the process? Is it what you're doing? And I tell you, no, it's not. We live in a broken world. We live in a world that is so broken. So, and the enemy has agents, people that are projected everywhere to see that they pull you down. The people that are projected everywhere to see that you are just less. So it's actually not really God's idea that you let him go through that pain, through that bereavement, through that hurt. But there is also a spiritual aspect to this. So you see, I pointed out the social, the psychological, the biological factor, by extension your brain, your health factor, and also the spiritual factor to depression, because it is complex. It is more than what we think. It is complex. You can't hear me. Can you hear me? Please make sure your mic is muted. So that is it. Takes us through that phase, through that season, through that season where we are not even sure anymore. So these are the four complex aspects of depression: your social, your psychological, your biological, and of course your spiritual, the spiritual aspect of your life. Because all those things are important. Now we just move down to what are the common what are the common ways that depression is quite different from other depression. Like I know I already mentioned, if you didn't join us when we started, I already mentioned that depression is actually different from other mental health conditions. More like other, we have postpartum, we have seasonal, we have you know the mood dysregulations or mood disorder. All these ones are different, right? And each of them comes with their little way. Each of them will either comes, they start, maybe they last for a while. For someone who is dealing with that of postpartum, of course they are dealing with just after delivery and all those kind of stuff, and that is not where we are going to today. So with that being said, we understand that there are different forms, or there are different things in tune about depression. It is so severe and so much that except you even realize how far it has gone with you, you won't even know you've gone that far. I don't know if anybody, you won't even know you've gone this far. You won't even know, this thing has crept so deep inside me. You won't even know that. Now somebody is asking now, what are the various causes? I just hope you can see them, is reading here. What are the various, okay, thank God your mic is muted. Okay. So now I just want to know further to what are the risk factors? Like what are the various things that can actually cause depression? What are the various things that can predispose the person that can cause it? How do you, of course we know the general thing, right? Maybe a life event, an overwhelming experience, something that is just so much, something that is just so big. But really, what are those things? Because it looks like some persons are, it looks like, why is it that it's just so much for those person? So now this takes us to what are the like the risk factors, or what are the causes? A lot of, there is just a lot of misconception about the causes. This is just this. A lot of people are okay. The causes, it has to do with your dopamine level, has to do with this, but it's more than that, and that is why I tell it. Both the causes and risk factors, because these things are more. They are more than that, and I believe we may just be ending with this today. So the first thing that predisposes a person, or the first thing that keeps them in that place of that it opens them up to depression. The first thing in that list is your personality. Now wait, let me explain so that you understand me properly. When I talk about personality, I talk about your your understanding of your identity, your understanding of who you are. I'm going to break this down because I want us to follow ahead. When I talk about your personality, I'm just talking about the sum total of who you are. This is the very first thing. And it deals with your identity. That's one. It deals with your self-esteem. That's two. It deals with a sense of who you are in God. And of course, your spiritual perception. I'm going to break each of this down. Don't forget that in the place we were talking about what are the risk factors, what are those things that can predispose a person, what are those things that just makes it look like okay, maybe this is what we have. Okay, this is depression. And so the first one, now this is not in any order, this is not in any, this is the first, this is the highest, but this is just as a way of putting it across. The first is what? Your personality. Your personality is the sum total of, I just gave it the word personality, but it's a summation of your identity, self-esteem, a spiritual understanding of you yourself. So let me break this down. First of all, I talk about your identity. Your identity is an understanding of who you are. Your identity is an understanding of who you are, is that firm belief of who you are. And it works hand in hand with your self-esteem. If you're a member of this community, as of last month, which was May now, yes, we talked about the importance of self-esteem. Unfortunately, that wasn't recordable because we may be having another series. And I define self-esteem to be the confidence in one's own work or ability. Self-respect. It is the overall opinion of yourself. So your self-esteem is the overall opinion of yourself, your beliefs about your abilities and limitation, shaped by your thoughts, your relationship, your experience, your culture, and your social status. Let me just take it again before I explain all these things. Your self-esteem is your overall belief about yourself, your abilities, and your limitations. It is shaped by your thoughts, your relationship, your experience, your culture. Then under this aspect of personality, the last I'm going to talk about is your spiritual essence. Because there is one thing that depression does is it just takes you out of that place where you lose the sense of connection with God. And if you're close to me, you know that I don't talk anything outside, God's principle, God's word, because it is the ultimate. It keeps you outside of Him. So people who deal with low self-esteem, people who deal with a loss of identity of who they are, first of all in their makeup, maybe as a result of their experience, as a result of maybe what they're currently going on, as a result of maybe what they have believed, the way they were raised, or maybe their current situation. It becomes easy for the enemy to whisper to you to tell you, you've lost it, you are no longer who you used to be. It becomes easy for him to whisper to you negative thoughts. It becomes easy for him to speak it to you. And I think I already made mention that depression grows. It's more like the more longer you stay in it, the more you grow into it. The more you grow into it, the more it becomes difficult for you to handle it. The more it becomes difficult for you to take it up. So that is what depression does. Now, this is the first big factor, which is covered under the title of personality. But under this, it talks about, first of all, your belief in who you are. And by extension to this, because you are not, you didn't just follow from anywhere. It talks about your belief and your essence in God. It talks about your self-esteem and your self-identity. Because there are things that would happen to you and they will shake who you are. They will shake. That's the word shake. What you believe about yourself. Maybe you can be in this moment where it seems like you've lost everything. But do you know what will keep you maybe standing strong? Or one of the things that will keep you is maybe what you have believed about yourself, what you have believed about your God, maybe what you have believed about who you are. Then amidst those things, you can say to yourself, well, I know, just like Job, like I redeem and live it. Do you understand me? Or I know that all things work together for my good. I know that what he has my worries unto him. That is the place that will keep you. That is the things you have, because life will happen. There are things that will shake you. There are things that will move you. There are things, and you may even be in that place now where a lot of things. But when you're closer to your maker, when you're closer to, when you understand who you are, when you have an understanding of your essence or your spirit, it becomes easy for you to be able to manage those lives, those guilt, those sense of emptiness. I don't say that you manage it all totally, but it becomes easy for you to be able to know that, okay, this is not who I used to be, or this is not where I used to be. Something has changed about me. This is not where I used to be. Do you understand me? And just as a way of portraying this thing more, I will just give you this scripture, Matthew 11:18, but I won't go much into it because I really want to stick to that. And the second thing, of course, that can predispose you, gives you those risk factors, are your experience, and your environment. Of course, experiences shapes us. Our experiences shapes us. Now, but the degree at which it shapes us is solely dependent on us. Of course, you can't. I tell people sometimes you can't stop what happens to you, but we have the power to shape how it affects us. We have the power. There is just this ability in you to shape how these experiences. I mean, to decide how it is going to shape you. Your experience could be violent, it could be neglect, it could be abuse, it could be medical condition, it could be grief, it could be bitterness, it could be betrayal, it could be divorce. Name them, whatever it is. You may be currently going through this experience, or you have gone through the experience, or this is just you're just in that place where you don't even know. So these are the experiences, right? But the good thing about it is that you have an ability. There is this there is something within you that gives you that inner ability to overcome anything and everything. So our experiences shapes us, they predisposes us to, of course, to depression. But that is not all. If it predisposes you, you also have the ability to overcome it. If you're close to me or in this community, you hear me tell people, you are not your abuse, you are not your neglect, you are not your medical condition, you are not your abuse, you are not your experience, you are not what you have been through, you are not that hurt, that sense of emptiness that enemy is putting in your thoughts, in your mind. That is not who you are. That is not who you are. So you have the ability, but you need to understand that these things have the ability to shape in you. When you understand that, you know that whatever experience, even your normal day-to-day experience, they also have the ability to shape in you. So these are the things also that can predispose you to depression. And then I come to the helpline. Genetics plays an important role too. Genetics plays an important role. Talking about this genetics and then with the biochemical idea. I tell you when I started that depression is not just about your thoughts, it's not just about your mind. Yes, there is also a cognitive aspect of it. Yes, that's what a cognitive aspect. There's the part that your brain plays. And when you talk about your part, you're talking about the chemicals that are in your brain that are called neurotransmitters. They help you. So this chemicals they play an important role. For some persons, or maybe at some seasons in your life, there are things that happen in your life that Those chemicals are either low, too low actually. That's the serotonin, the dopamine, and the like. They predisposes you to that feeling of emptiness. They predisposes you because of their low and the way they are, the way our body is being designed. Our body is designed in such a way that anything that affects one part affects actually every other part. Yeah, so anything that is affecting your brain, it affects other sort of you. So it's linked. There is also a biochemical and a genetic influence of depression. And this is what we talk about, the neurotransmitter. But I don't just want to go deep into that because this is more or less, this is not really a health, this is not a health aspect. But it's also important that you know that because these chemicals, they are real, they are true, they are real, they are true, and they plays an important role in your health. They plays an important role in your mind. Plays an important role in the way you experience things or the way you push things. So with that being said, we are in this place where I want you to understand that depression is something that can be that you can keep over it. Yes, it is not a death sentence. It is not the ultimate of it all is not suicide. It is never an option. Do you know why? Because you need to come out from that experience so that you can also be a voice. You need to come out from that place so that you can also lend up your voice, so that you can also say, oh, when people are speaking or when people are in that place, you would also get it. So that brings me to the place where I want to say this in case you've not heard it from anyone, or in case you feel like, okay, it doesn't matter. God is actually interested in your feelings. Like he's more than you think, more than you think, because you cannot function wholly as a human being if your soul is broken, like if it's shattered, if there is wound inside you, you cannot function. It may look from the outside, it may look like you have it all figured out. It may look like everything is going well. Maybe you have a great job, a great life, but you know, every other person may think, well, just this person is perfect, this person is okay, but And I'm here to tell you today that the purpose of this is not just to make you okay, to give you that thing, it's to help you, it's to give you that highlight that God is actually interested in you and He's bringing up things for you. That you don't need to go through those phases, those seasons all by yourself. You don't need to go through those moments and you are like, okay, what's going on in my life? How do I take this? You don't need to, because when you are in that place alone, it becomes easy for you to go down. It becomes easy for you to just bring it down. It becomes easy, for you to get to that place where it becomes easy for you to get to that place where it's okay to go down. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay. But it's not, because he said in his word that I know the plans I have to give you a respected and to give you a future. And this brings up to the wrapping up of today's series. We're talking about build from broken. It is more than a one day event. It is a purpose. It is something designed for you. It is something designed for you. It's something designed for you. So the totality of who you can be, the totality of being healed, the totality of being whole, it is part of the package. It's part of the package. And that just brings me to, the end of our series today. Now, I need you to understand something very small, because I want to take my time to talk about depression. I want to take my time to just think. So by next Sunday, we'll be talking more, about the symptoms. We're talking about how can you seek help, symptoms, the signs, how can you seek help, and of course, what are the treatment approach? What can you do? Where does self-care come in? Where does looking, how do you know it's time to look for help? How do you know it's time to seek help? What are the helps available for you? What are the things available for you? We are going to take our time. I do not want to rush anything, but I also want to make sure, and thank God we have the whole of July to ourselves. So this is it. You know, build, as I said earlier, if you were not here when I started, the purpose of build from broken is to be built from our brokenness. It's to give you that totality, that wholesomeness of yourself in God, in all things. And this brings us to the end of it. Now we are not going to be taking um, um, questions or anything, but I want to leave you with this. I want to leave you with this. The totality of who you are is built in who you can become. It's not like who you are is not just a one day thing. Who you are is a process. You keep improving, you keep moving, you keep becoming better. So don't put a full stop to your experience, to your life, to that dream, to that pain. Don't say this is it all. You are not that pain. You are not that gift. You are not that hurt. You are not that experience. You are not that. You are something more. You are big. You are bold. You are built from everything. So thank you very much for just joining me today. Let me try to